let's get to it. You're not here for us. We understand. We just talked for 4 hours on the radio. Let's bring him out here. The pride and joy of Detroit, Mr. Jack White.
Thank you.
Does this ever get old? Are you past this at this point, or is this still exciting that people clap for you everywhere you go?
I'm an Uber driver now, so I think I've picked up some of these people.
5 stars. Remember, guys, 5 stars. Let's talk about it. You got a couple albums. You got a tour that you're in the middle of. You broke away from a show last night, not another one tonight, YouTube, just to come and hang out with us, fine people here. And I'm wondering why you would have planned all of this in the middle of baseball season for you.
Exactly. People think it's a bad move. It's actually a beneficial, selfish move that we get to go from town to town and see game after game.
Oh, did you plan it that way?
We watched the Dodgers up in the triple deck up the other night, and it didn't win, but it was a great game.
Well, I mean, Fear of the Dawn obviously is a huge #1 album. We're playing a couple of singles on K-Rock.
Thank you.
You've got another single coming out in a week. You've got another album coming out next month. We got a chance to get a little sneak peek of the album that's coming out next month, and it is, I mean, amazing, but polar opposite of your new album.
Yeah.
So was that intentional? I mean, obviously with you, I feel like everything's intentional. And where did the idea come from of having 2 albums that are so different?
They all were written together at the same time. I didn't really plan on doing any particular kind of record. I just was writing, and it just kept coming out. But they sort of started finding their own zones on my laptop. They were in 2 different sort of playlists, and I kept trying to put one song in the other playlist, and they just wouldn't work. It didn't flow together. They wanted to be 2 different albums on their own. So I was a good boy and did what I was told by the songs.
But the plan was always so close together, because someone like me, we're so used to getting something we like and then being like, the next thing will happen in 15 years. Like, get ready for another season of Game of Thrones when I'm already dead. And then this comes, album out last month, another one coming out next month. That was the plan, just get it all out there and let the people enjoy?
I was hoping to put them both out on the same day, but pressing the vinyl was impossible to get that many records pressed for the same day release. So we had to space it out. That's how it goes. Even if you own your own pressing plant, you still have to do that.
Yeah,
that's how bad the demand is.
You don't get to skip the line? That's crazy.
Not really, no. The demand is insane right now. It's like 8 to 10 months for a record. So it's exploded and beyond belief, and it's incredible. It's a good problem to have.
You've been touring. You've been very busy, and at your shows, last night, tonight, and here, no cell phone policy. You yourself had a no cell phone policy. Did you finally get a cell phone, or do you still not have one?
Not yet, but my days are numbered, I think.
Yeah, I was looking at it too, because I'm looking at your Instagram.
Can't order a coffee at a restaurant anymore. Right. I was like, scan and just get a coffee.
So that's it. You're going to finally break today. If any of you have your cell phone out, we will smash it. Allie just had a baby. She's going to smash it with a pregnancy foot.
Yeah.
Going to smash your cell phone.
Still very swollen.
This is very exciting. It's a show. Legally, we've all agreed that we will keep what happens here. And I think it's great because you're letting us all share in a moment together that we're not concerned about uploading and posting, right? We get to be in this moment together, which is kind of a movement now that you've been kind of spearheading for a while.
Yeah, it's no hate really about cell phones or anything. It's just the idea of just being able to everyone can bond together in a different way. We find so many people afterwards saying, it was amazing because between bands, I turned to a stranger next to me and I started talking about a band I liked, and he mentioned an album that they made. And here I was talking about music again with a stranger, just like we used to do at shows. And I was like, well, that's perfect. That's great. I'm glad people are having those experiences.
It's great.
Sounds like you are too.
We need more of those, especially now. But on the real level, if you don't know where you're going, how do you get directions? Are you still printing out MapQuest?
How'd you get here today? That's what we want to know.
How did you get here?
We expected you weren't going to be here. We were shocked.
I'm not the dad at Home Depot who's afraid to ask for help. I want to know where are the saw blades at. Is it aisle 12 or something? I'll definitely
Jack
ask
White
for
just
help.
asked where Wiener Schnitzel is. That's weird. So the new album, which we just had a chance to sneak peek listen to, Entering Heaven Alive, as we mentioned, it's totally different sound, and it's. I would argue, when early on listening to you, it seemed like it was perfectly imperfect. The music was had just a dirty sound to it, which felt, awesome, but also felt like there was no such thing as a song that was ever perfect. Do you think you've had a perfect song ever, or do you think it's not perfect on purpose?
That's a great question. You sort of you start aiming for something, an idea in your head, and these things are flowing through you and other musicians in the room, and you just have to know when to stop attempting to get there. I mean, at some point, you just have to just say, okay, that's enough. We can keep going and keep going and keep going with this. You could also literally never stop working on a painting and painting. You could just keep painting over and over again. That part of the art form is knowing when to stop, I think. And so, yeah, you never actually get there. But maybe in hindsight, as things move on, you start thinking, I guess maybe that was just about as good as it ever could have been. Like, I think now looking back, something like Seven Nation Army is like, at the time we just thought, well, that was just another song on the record. But now it seems like maybe we just accidentally recorded it perfectly and didn't realize. I don't know.
Well, and is it tough to know when to stop when you're doing more on your own? Like, Fear of the Dawn, didn't you do all the instruments on your own? Like,
yeah.
Do you ever feel like you get in your head when you're in your own space versus collaborating?
I like it better with other musicians. It's different things will happen. You start trying to feed off of one another, impress one another, top one another sometimes. And you get to different places you wouldn't normally be. When you're by yourself, it's a little bit kind of lonely and it doesn't have the same grooves. But sometimes you can get it exactly the way you intended, which is nice at times. But I prefer
Please tell me there's an instrument you tried to play that you sucked at and you couldn't do it because it feels...
What was it?
I've sworn to never play the harmonica. I've never.
Why?
I've never tried to play. I wanted to. There's a thing about. I don't know if you know. There's an idea about like maybe Persian rugs. Maybe that you leave one thread undone on purpose to leave it imperfect. I wanted to leave one instrument that I just knew would never touch.
Anyone have a harmonica on them right now?
Let's
change this. Come on.
Well, and you've talked about putting yourself in different headspaces when you write. Like, I heard that you fasted. In order to, you fasted and then tried to write when you were fasting? Like, have you done other ones where you're like, all right, I'm so full, I'm going to now write a song? Or like, I haven't showered in a week. What can I come up with now? Like,
yeah. We have a new rule on tour. We try not to eat after like 4:00 now anymore because it's just a bad idea. Everyone just kind of wants to go to sleep, and then we have to play an hour later. So yeah, just different. I've always tried to push myself into different scenarios, different tricks to make myself think in a different way. And attack things in a different way. That was one of them. Was just sort of hunger and fasting and what your body does. Make it? I did. One example is when we did. I was on Saturday Night Live a couple of years ago. Thanks. I think it was a year and a half or something like that. And we got the call on Wednesday from Lorne Michaels to do it. And we said yes. And I didn't eat until after the second song on Saturday night. So I fasted that whole time. And it's crazy because your body, the energy your body comes in with the second or third day is your body's making you go out and get food. So you can't sleep. I was up at 5:00 in the morning, just, pacing around. You have so much energy. So I was like, before that show, I was like, let's go. And my manager was like, you're going to pass out. You're going to pass out.
I'm not trying to brag, but I fasted for 12 minutes once. So.
Oh, that's good. Pretty good.
You're so brave.
We all have stories, We all have stories. We don't want to hog all your time. And we know that the real reason everyone's here is for this man to perform some songs for us, right? But we did give you an opportunity to ask some questions. So these are questions from some of your many fans that are here for the great Jack White. Here we go.
All right, this one comes from Jim from the 714. What do you think is cooler, a professional rock star or a professional baseball player? And who do you think is going to win the World Series?
Oh, yeah, I think professional baseball player for sure. Yeah. I think they have a cooler zone to be in. It's almost like they don't they can just get into this physicality of it, and they're sort of versus their own body trying to accomplish, that athleticism is pretty incredible zone to be in,
I don't think they can fast or they'd pass out.
Maybe different techniques.
Well, you threw out a great first pitch. Let's point out because Steve Aoki's first pitch went terribly badly. I don't know if you saw it last week over the back of the dugout. You actually threw a very impressive first pitch at a Detroit game.
It's funny when you're up there, you think you turn around and it's all of a sudden the catcher's like a mile away. Like, wow, that's really far. Man.
All right, this one comes from Jesse from Los Feliz. More and more bands are releasing cinematic experiences along with their albums, 21 Pilots and Panic at the Disco, just to name a few. Will there ever be a Jack White cinematic experience that we can see someday in the future?
Oh, that's a nice question. Yeah, I would love to do that. I've directed a lot of smaller things. I'd love to direct a feature film, and it's been maybe down the road it can finally occur. But I've directed a lot of small things, videos and things for Third Man Records, but just haven't had the moment and the time to put that together in a bigger way. But yeah, it would be nice. It'd be nice. I didn't intend to direct anything for this album, these albums, for example, and I've already directed 4 videos for it. It just ended up being that way. We're in the zone and that thing's happening and everyone's available, so it happens. So I end up directing more than I actually.
The video that drops next week is. I assume you directed that.
No, that one I did not.
Oh, well, that's good. You should do that. That was good. That's a good video.
Just repeat that. That'll be good.
That guy's good. Hire him.
And then this one comes from Britt, and this one's come through a couple of times. I did not ask this question. Would you ever collaborate with Nickelback on a song?
I don't like when bands, get picked on. It's I feel bad for anybody who's like, it's just musicians. They just want to play. Yeah.
So that's a yes.
That's a verbal yes. You got it. All right. Well, listen. The reason that we are here is because what you do is amazing. There's very few people. I don't know if there's is there a rock star bigger than you? Do you believe? Can you tell me that right now? Who do you idolize?
David Bowie, Lou Reed.
We can argue. Who's ready? Who's ready for Jack White to perform? Huh?
Right. We're gonna take a little palate cleanser now.
We're gonna burn some sage and forget this interview ever happened on the stage, and then he's gonna come back out. And let me tell you, I saw what's going on back there. How many people are you bringing out with you? 50 people?
55 people. Yeah.
55 people. Jack White, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.